not realize this, being as you're an outsider, but the blaring alarms indicate the station's on lockdown.
Thinking of down. So keep. Out there, whoever you are, yes, I can see you. Come here and talk to me, face to intercom. I can't tell if you're brave or simply touched in the head. What in the galaxy are you doing sniffing around my station? Unless you are, in fact, trying to suicide by Marauder? And you, Nyoka! What are you doing lugging a stranger into my station? You could use the socialization, you son of a bitch. Also, she hired me.
To what purpose? I happen to have some significant problems I am dealing with right now. Marauders, running out of purple berry wine 3 days ago, not being able to bloody broadcast. No. We'll deal with information-related business later. As I said, there are bigger problems threatening my life and livelihood at this very moment. The Marauders want me dead. And since my hired hands have clearly turned idle, it appears I need you to clear out the threat. As my newest contractor, you may call me the Broker.
Or we can call you Hiram, on account of that's your damn name, and doubly on the account of the Broker being a dumbass alternative.
What? Everyone calls me that. Aside from you. You're here, and you're armed, aren't you? The feed's gone grainy, but it looks like you're packing deadly force. I know Nyoka is, for sure. I barricaded the broadcast center, but I can only hold out for so long. Clear the Marauders out, and I'll pay you double the going rate. They destroy the transmission equipment, and I'll be out of business. The elevator and doors to the second floor are back online. Hurry before I have to lock them down again. Too many, considering I hired a bunch of no-good mercs to keep them out in the first place. Already, they've caused considerable damage to the station's property. If they take down the broadcast equipment, I'll be out of a job, permanently. Aside from the bits I'll be paying you, you said you wanted something from me. Something information-related. I'll give it to you, in person, once I'm safe.
God， 东西要剪了吧？
Hey, elevators to
哦。可以群群，
I'll get the door. You hurry on it.
蛮近的这边，毕竟是真的没啥想玩的东西，有够无聊的。
Never thought I'd be ecstatic at having the walls painted in blood, but seeing as it's not mine, I'd say this calls for a celebration. This ought to square our debt. One hefty payment for a highly valued service rendered. But I admit, I do wonder why Nyoka has brought you to me. Allow me to pose my question in another manner. Why, in the nebula, are you here?
哥家，哎，哥家，对，哥家，我原本这个应该我昨天就要问了，只是我昨天忘记问。你跟 No Name 应该知道，就是现在猫站它不是更新一个，就是你完成某个东西可以拿到罐头吗？它有一个是什么在就是大厅中，然后什么可以开启宝物清单，然后可以直接连线到关卡拿20罐头，这个完全看不懂它是什么意思。我们在大厅中开启宝物清单，然后就可以直接找到关卡，然后就拿罐头，不知道是什么东西，看不懂。
Ah yes, our little chat on the intercom. You're looking for the premier broker for all of Monarch, which you knew clearly. Phineas must have sent you. He's the only one insane enough to send someone to Monarch to rush me. I knew it was only a matter of time before he came a-knocking. Look, I might be...
等下崩铁好玩吗？崩铁以你的定义，你说你没，我记得昨天你说没有原神好玩，但是以你的定义来说，它也算是个好玩的游戏哦，不然你也不会继续玩。你这不是在玩什么蔚蓝档案吗？它不是感觉是要花很多时间。蔚蓝档案放着不玩，然后玩崩铁。
It might take me a while this time.
对，猫站，崩铁好玩。听说崩铁就是比较没有什么时间人会选择玩崩铁吗？我开启宝物清单了，然后嘞，要干嘛？哦，点2下，哦，我看到了，哦，没事。这样玩一个游戏，如果我是不喜欢那种一个游戏玩到一半不玩，除非那个游戏没有每日任务这些的，或是它每日任务效益不高的情况下，我就不会登录。但我觉得像原神这种每日任务，虽然它每日任务奖励不能说是多好，但是你只要是之后再回来玩，你中间这一段空窗期就会很浪费，就会有这种感觉。所以我才不想玩新游戏，就是因为我的旧游戏会不断的堆积。虽然我现在好像也没有什么旧游戏是要不断登录的游戏，就是了。就是因为，但我觉得这样嘴你好像也不太好，就是说，就是有这些只会看那些女角色的人，然后不停的氪金，所以他们游戏才做的很愤。就是他只要把女生做的好看一点，动漫的那种造型做的好看一点，然后即便游戏再怎么无聊，都会有一群男生去买单，太不 OK 了。游戏不仅品质要好，东西也要好。啊，他现在很多游戏都只把角色图做成那种女生那种女角色图，然后广告就放那种奇怪的图，然后就吸引别人去玩。
Exactly what I was thinking. They hurt us all with their pettiness. Which of course has inadvertently affected the incoming port and my livelihood.
事实吗？就是你游戏做了份，只要角色画的好，就会赚一堆钱吗？真的很多，就是很多游戏，我觉得他角色都做的长一样，哪里好？你要角色就是我也不知道怎么形容就是你那些游戏本身不好玩，然后就只画一些角色图，那请绘师随便画一下，可能随便做一些份游戏，然后请绘师帮忙画个几个长得很漂亮的角色图，然后再送一些开局福利，然后短线游戏赚钱，然后就直接倒掉，然后再做新的一模一样的东西，没有往长线来看。
No, they're jamming the limited frequencies we have at our disposal. Nothing extra.
那我说，但是还是很多人会去氪啊，就是因为他们是抽这种仔仔的消费能力吗？仔仔的消费能力都在氪金上面了吗？因为仔仔他没有什么其他休闲活动，不需要花其他钱，就把省下的钱全部拿来氪金来抽角色图、抽美女图，然后养一大堆。
You'll find it directly to the east, almost in sighting distance of Devil's Peak Station. My former partner, Sanjar, transmits from his office in MSI's headquarters in the center of town.
究竟是只做那种美女图的美女角色的游戏，但是游戏性很笨的游戏，应该说美女角色，但是游戏性很笨，还是角色做成很 DEI 很丑，但是游戏性很好的游戏，哪一个比较吸引人呢 ？Fallout， 这就 Fallout 的Fallout 的游戏制作商吧，就是我记得做这一款的游戏的人也有做 Fallout， 只是不是做 Fallout 4，是 Fallout 其他代，好像是蛮接近那款游戏。究竟是长得很丑的角色，但是游戏性很好玩，和游戏性很无聊，但是角色很好看，哪一个比较能吸引到人？
Graham and his iconoclasts believe anarchy is the way of life.
说只靠画面吸引人。第一个是因为游戏性是要有玩才知道游戏性好不好玩，所以他们先看到广告之类的，知道这角色做的很漂亮，所以就进去玩。跟另外一个，你光看到角色就不想进去玩的游戏。后者是要有玩过才能知道那是个好游戏，前者是你玩过才知道那一款游戏是个粪 game， 后者就是比较难吸引人进来，但是一进来之后，可能因为游戏性好玩，就会把它玩完。前者是很容易吸引到人，但是可能游戏性很笨，所以会筛掉很多人，应该是这样感觉。
Amber Heights is one of the only surviving settlements outside of Stellar Bay. Graham Bryant and the iconoclasts there got their hands on a working relay station. Now they're ceaselessly transmitting philosophist ramblings on my airwaves. Do what you like. Just don't tell me about it after. I enjoy sleeping at night. Is that a trick question? Because to answer it, you'd need to pay me. Of course, I could offer you a vastly more interesting bit of data instead. Try me. Ask me anything you'd like. I'll even offer it for free. We'll call it an exchange for your help with the
某个枪战
Ask me what you will.
某个神奇枪战，有一个我大概1个月前得知有另外一款枪战是在某个神奇索尼枪战倒闭后马上崛起的一个枪战，游玩方式也跟那个倒掉的枪战很类似，但是另外一个就活得很好。另外一个枪战活得很顺利，然后 Steam 在线也都是维持蛮高峰的状态，跟某个花个2个礼拜就收掉的游戏完全是2极分化嘛，而且他们发售时间很接近。我是前几个礼拜好像甚至1个月才知道的这一款游戏。
There are so many.
我记得有人说 DEI 就是你做的好的话不会有人说话。我听说赛博朋克也是有 DEI 的元素，但是就没有人嘴。然后博德之门好像也有，然后也没有人嘴。大家嘴的是游戏做的笨，然后又有 DEI 的元素吧。所以我刚刚说有 DEI 元素，但是做的很好的游戏可能就符合，也是容易吸引到人。但是你前提是要做的好，做的烂又 DEI。加倍不爽。他说：“你做的烂，你知道角色画的好看一点；你做的烂，角色又画的丑，没人要玩。你做的烂一点，角色画的很好看，可能就像剑心。剑心听说评价游戏性的评价还好，但是因为他角色画的很好看，所以评价很高。这可能就是2个点。”
If you try to cite me on this, I will deny. Do you understand? What I am about to reveal is the sort of information that gets a body disappeared. MSI's ownership of Monarch is technically legal, but it would give MSI too much power on the board to grant them such.
对啊，阿哥讲，你现在不是有2只手机？你2只手机，你可以一直挂着崩铁，崩铁它不是有自动对战吗？你前面打原神，然后后面它在自动打的时候，你就点一点，然后让它自动打，然后再点一点，再自动打，一次多方面操作。
That the chairman is politically motivated to keep Monarch from being re-recognized as a legal part of the colony, and his actions as a result are highly illegal. And that is all you will get from me regarding such a deadly piece of data. Luckily for you, I am a veritable font of information. They are a curious lot.
他的对话选项也太多了吧？看完一遍我就全忘记他到底在讲三小了。
Sanjar is not actually at fault for his past performance review.
他原神不是已经没剧情了吗？你现在原神应该也没东西要打了吧？打地图之类的，
Not in his lifetime.
打世界任务开图，或是打一些其他有的没的，不是主线。你主线不是都解完了吗？还是他的崩铁的解剧情需要比较专注，无法开自动打。
I gave Sanjar and Graham legal information that would allow MSI to own Terra 1 once the other corporations had abandoned the planet. The execs had their concerns, but before the matter could be resolved, pirates raided their homes in the night.
看剧情很专注。哎，看剧情看一遍之后，我就在讲下一句话的时候，我就忘记上一句话讲什么了。
Some say Graham suffers from nightmares.
我就在想，我解封单要专心一点，但是又觉得单独专心的看封单任务又有点无聊，又想配影片看，但是配影片的时候又会让我无法专心，非常的矛盾。在想到底要专心看封单剧情，还是边做影片边看？如果做影片看的话，我那个影片的内容我就几乎听不到了，大概80%的专注力都在封单剧情上面。
You mean between MSI, the Iconoclasts, and myself? I bet neither of those megalomaniacs told you I was the true mastermind behind Monarch. Back when the colony was still Terra 1 and corporations were abandoning us left and right, I'm the one who approached Sanjar and Graham with the means to our salvation. I offered them a legal way to take control of the planet. If MSI were the only corporation here, they could claim sole ownership. Precisely. The other corporations were fleeing because of the hazard clause declaring Terra 1 uninhabitable. But MSI had lagged behind, giving Sanjar and Graham an opportunity. Take over MSI, stay here while the other corps left, take over the planet. Precisely. Without me, they never would have done more than play Revolution in hushed whispers over scuzzy kale ales in the tavern.
对啊，哥讲你们现在他不会有限制你们要参加什么韩服之类的吗？他有预告说你知道会有韩服之类的东西出现吗？还是你现在就有上韩服，只是算是比较轻松的上课
？Competing ideologies. Graham believes Sanjar has become corrupted by the corporate lifestyle. that he is now similar to the original corporate executives they sought to
太
reform.
悲惨，韩服。
And Sanjar has learned the hard way that Graham is quite morally gray. Luckily for you, I am a veritable font of information. What? No. Why would I go out of my way to intercept messages from Earth? There's no market for them. No buyer means it's not worth my time. Now, if you wanted me to intercept a certain one, that might be worth it for the right price. Not much, admittedly. Phineas has been in hiding for the past 35 years. He got in touch with Nyoka first, who I use as a physical go-between. The rest is history. As far as what's between us, I mean. Outside of that, well, that's a raptidon of another color.
什么东西服役？
I do know this much.
啥
There
服
is a
役？
sharper side to the good scientist than you'd expect. If allegations are to be believed, the experiments he conducts for the greater good are in fact treasonous and for self-gain. I am not convinced as to the validity of these allegations, considering the source.
哎，阿哥讲，你有去那个吗？我传的那个连接的那个东西，那东西我不确定一个人做，我不确定那是多人就会增加进度，还是没有办法。如果不加进度又不做他的每日领取任务的话，我想可能是刚刚好可以领完所有奖励，就是很刚好的领完。
For you, I am a veritable font.
但是多人可以加进度吗？我现在才500而已，我只领他的什么每日任务领的那个东西，剩下我都没有拿。那个什么强化圣遗物，然后去别人世界打史莱姆那些拿奖励的那个东西，我都没有去打，还是要去打一下，拿他奖励，至少做的比较快一点。
I may have a secret for you, for the right exchange.
我想到底要不要去别人世界？他说一个是去别人世界采璃月的特产，然后一个是去别人世界打史莱姆，
You know where to find
然后可以领5个那个东西，这样好像可以增加一些进度。还是等一下我打完这个之后去测试一下好了，哪个东西增加一下进度？那好像有80原石蛮重要的。军群一直刷图案啊，随便讲点干话也好。不然这边真的很无聊，因为他在解这个任务的时候，我真的是有看没有懂。我看完遍之后，上一个东西我就忘了。 What？ 嘿 ，Nolan， 我真不知道他是今天27号的凌晨，因为他这种东西是不是在卡时的交接情况下可以弄，所以我不确定是不是今天凌晨就可以抽了10%季。我觉得我要分2次，我觉得我光抽金券可能20分钟就过去了。 11点一样是11点，抽完金券就过了20分钟。
Well, hello, and welcome to the home of the iconoclasts. I'm Rose. Please take a pamphlet. In it, you'll find everything you need to know about Graham, his philosophist truths, and the iconoclast way. He wrote it himself, you know. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting we're out of pamphlets. Gosh, blast it.
狗罐头活动是3小，
Why, we're the
有没有办
only
法
free
集到
people on the
6750啊？我现在差
island. Corporations
400多左右。
have problems.
我想说，如果可以集到6750的话，就可以直接2个一起抽啊。如果不行的话，就2个分开抽，然后分2步。也许我金券就已经全部抽到，就不需要再抽罐头了。
No, those are just hurdles. We deal with them as they come. You're welcome to stay with us, so long as you can earn your keep. That's a nice way to think about it. Graham would be our father. I suppose Zora might make a good mother if the two of them could stop arguing. You can think of those two as our leaders, but they're more like examples. We all ought to be more like them. Why, he's our founder. Graham taught us about philosophism. Through him, we came to the eternal truth. I'm glad you're asking, by the way. I hope you'll consider staying. She's been with us since the beginning. I think she was our sawbones back then, but now she's more like our commander. She goes and finds people in the wilderness and gets them to come here. And she keeps us from being chewed on and whatnot. She's liable to take your head off if you screw up, but then she'll sew it back on for you. Graham's place is in the large building straight back. Zora's sometimes there talking with him, but usually she's in the triage clinic next door. Oh, Graham settled here a long time ago. Shoot, I wish I had a pamphlet to give you. It's all in there. I wasn't around back then, but they say a lot of the old MSI corporate folks died here. He calls it a spiritual metaphor, something about rising from the ashes. The new boy! Yes, he's quite clever. He took to our teachings very quickly. Last I saw him, he was headed into one of the
水果
buildings
罐
up
头
the
动
hill.
来是什么？
Our loyal folk.
Get a whiff? Oh, so this armor is something awful.
我操！脉冲锤。哦，大狙哦。哦，电棍。好，这武器看起来很屌哎、
A mantiquine.
Yeah, we felled it, mind. But
A stranger comes to our home. If you're looking for a path to walk, you've found one. If you're looking for a teacher, I am one. Welcome to the Iconoclasts. The truth that I have come to learn and embrace since shedding the corporate yoke. Out here, we survive by the sheer strength of our spirit. We have no need for the endless rules and red tape of a corporate structure.
we do seem to burn through endless ammunition and medical tape, though.
Yes, well, such is life. Our descendants will enjoy safety and luxury, but our generation is the foundation on which that future is built. Now, why have you come? Awakening is available to all whose minds are ready to accept it. What would you like to know? Ah, the eternal. we are all part of the consciousness of the cosmos. Each of us plays a tiny role in the universe's continual journey toward understanding itself. You and I, and the rats and the mantis swarms. Divinity is in us all, and the eternal is that divinity. Everyone, regardless of ability to believe, is another facet of the universe contemplating its own existence. The point of no return. When your mind fully opens to the eternal truth, every philosophist experiences it along the path to enlightenment. For many, it is the first brush with the cold of death, when they realize that all of their lives have boiled down into the single truth of that moment. Mine was witnessing my friend and colleague transform into the very evil we sought to combat. Now he runs MSI just like the overlords before him. Sanjar Nandi, he leads MSI out of Stellar Bay. Such a shame, the way his sensibilities have been corrupted over time. Not in the sense of a single entity, fashioning the universe as a whittler fashions a flute. The universe came into being over time, organically, naturally, and without purpose. In that sense, I suppose you could say that, in the interest of finding its
明后天不是会更冷吗？军群终于发话了，
all living things.
就是需要这些有讲话的人才可以让这边比较热闹一点，不然我真的一个人看这个无聊的剧情。但可能剧情不无聊，只是因为我看不太懂就是了。
Questions like these are
哎，
distractions.
明后天更冷
It
啊！
doesn't matter whether
好处是明后天好像就放假了，明后天好像就过年了。
Only by pursuing the eternal truth will we
后
find
天，
these.
好像礼拜二就才过年吗？礼拜二才放假吗？
All right. I'm sorry. As long as it's been, I'd still rather not speak of it. That was a painful day for us all. It's fine. Perhaps someday I'll be strong enough to recall that tragedy, but today is not that day. The iconoclasts are free folk. We live under our rules, motivated by our own beliefs, all petals on the same flower of enlightenment. Meanwhile, the board strangles the will of its workers. It is the penultimate exercise of a poisoned society where people are enslaved by a corporate ladder. We seek to replace their way of life with ours. Philosophism is the key to unlocking their shackles. This is not anarchy. Society requires structure, Captain. It is just that the board's structure is killing the colony. Ours will not. Why have you come? All right. Why have you come? Stop. No. Spreading the truth is the only way to combat the board's poisonous campaign of propaganda against their people. I realize the board has blockaded our efforts, but Devil's Peak is an interplanetary radio tower. Surely somebody is listening. Surely?
Excuse me, I'm from Edgewater on Terra 2. If you'll pardon my saying, nobody I know's ever heard of you.
你现在人还在外面哦
To。double down on our efforts.
Graham, we should be focusing on survival anyway. Food, ammo, and medicine. Maybe now's the time to pivot.
Pivot, huh? If radio isn't working, we might try another way. It seems the captain's timing is more than just serendipitous. It must be fate. I've had my sights on an old printing press for some time. The board uses magazines and advertisements to subtly focus the colony's attention. We will use their tricks against them.
Wait, that's not what I meant.
Help me clear out and repair the press, and I will have no need for that rust bucket of a radio tower. Citizens of Halcyon are glued to their periodicals. They obsess over tossball and fashion, and the board uses these obsessions to control them. Even I find myself occasionally distracted by their positively shameful quality of editing and unacceptable disregard for grammatical structure. My literary prowess will hook them, and the eternal truth will reel them in. Listen to me. I'm starting to sound like one of Sanjar's fishermen. Wonderful. I requisitioned replacement rollers for it some time ago. Huxley should have delivered them yesterday. Speaking of which, where is Huxley?
You bought rollers? You haven't even cleared the wraps out yet. What are you doing wasting bits on... Wait, where is Huxley?
It seems we're out a runner. If you intend to help our cause, I'll ask you to meet our MSI supplier in her stead. One of our sympathizers, a woman named Carlotta, periodically buys goods on our behalf from Stellar Bay's store.
国家要消失了，
Stellar Bay
他
has
让这边
vowed that
从
we
原本
remain
的没人
friendly,
变成更没
though
人。
the goods now come at a considerable markup.
再来个像是海带那种可以交流的人吧，不然我这边真的好无聊。
She meets us in the ruins of Bayside Terrace. From our compound, follow the road north. Wonderful. While you're at it, I wonder if Carlotta still has those high-capacity cartridges? Grab a few, will you? There should be some funds left over from the last shipment. We can use them to copy and modify radio serials. Yes, not just magazines, but their precious dramas.
Unbelievable. I hope I don't have to tell you this, but if there is extra money, would you mind buying, I don't know, food and medicine? Graham, if you need me, I'll be in triage.
卡洛斯、卡洛塔，大量补给。妈，这把武器好屌！我的。What the fuck was that？ 他吓死我！刚刚那到底是三小？
Excuse me, but this area's off limits. We got a leaky generator. It ain't safe. That's my nice way of telling you to sod off. We're fixing a leaky generator. What's it to you? Right. Carlotta. Yeah, she's inside. We got first rights, though. Soon as we fix that generator, she's ours. You'd have to ask the boss. I just know she wants Carlotta voided. And I'm just gonna let you walk on in? Why's that now? All right, you gonna sod off already? We're fixing a leaky generator. What's it to you? What are you, a safety inspector? It's busted, pumping out gas. It ain't safe. Oh, whoops. I'll get right on that, boss. Hope this ain't in my performance review. You're back? You shouldn't be. That's my nice way of telling you to sod off. And I'm just gonna let you walk on in? Why's that now? All right, you gonna sod off already?
吃完饭，那么冷还在外面减肥。室外运动啊。
I heard all of that. Who's out there? Whoever you are, you're in a lot of trouble. Hello? Yeah, and for the 100th time, I'm not opening this door. Who are you, anyway? Oh, finally! Tell Graham that this is the last run I'm doing. Sanjar's declared a stop sale to you lot, but even if he hadn't, I'm not risking my neck anymore.
Thanks for clearing out those goons. Please don't kill me next. Graham ordered rollers and whatsits, right? For a printing press? Here, take them. Like I said, this is my last run. You'd have to ask him. All I know is that if I get caught, I'll get arrested. It's an enviable thing he's doing. Free people and all that. I can't live that way. I need my structure. But I respect the iconoclasts for doing it. Law help them. I don't know. Maybe Sublight can lend a hand. I should go. Look, Graham's got a bit or two left in his account. I can send one last dropout before I wash my hands of this. What do you want delivered? Yeah, I've got a few. I'll send them along. Give them all my regards. And good luck out there. Don't go getting eaten.
And it's neat working. Now, if I drill through the hull...
I'm telling you, the Van Noys are fine.
Bullshit, Graham. They don't just abandon orders, and they weren't at the ruins. Where in this sulfur-sodden hellhole did you send them?
They're on a very important... Ah, we'll continue this later. Welcome back, Captain.
They're hunters. Badass ones at that. Hope they're all right.
They're our best unit, and now they're missing in action.
And we'll continue that discussion later.
Damn it. I was hoping you'd have more sense than our venerable leader here. I get the message is important, but so's eating. Carlotta usually schedules the next drop during the meeting. When's she coming?
The board must have gotten a hold of him at last. This cuts off one of our only 2 supply lines on Monarch. Sanjar, old friend, you're about to cross a dangerous line.
About to? That idiot just declared war.
We will deal with his subversion later. For now, we must redouble our efforts to spread the truth to the colony.
The print... Oh no. Graham, you didn't.
I've already sent a team ahead to scout the press. One of our best. Meet them there and find out if they've been successful.
You sent the Van Noys there, didn't you? Oh, for fuck's sake, Graham! We needed them in the ruins. Our people died out there.
They went willing to fight for our cause. We need reinforcements. We need new recruits. The Van Noys saw the printing facility with the same importance as I.
Is a printing press really worth all these people's lives? There's gotta be a better way to get your message out.
I have the utmost confidence in their abilities. Friends, we must have faith that the men and women we recruit can handle the duties for which we recruit them.
Yes! You're damn right he could have. But he's so obsessed with preaching that he's become blind to our actual problems. Look, just... If the Van Noys are still alive, get them out of there. With Sanjar pressing the issue like this, I have a feeling we'll need them.
多他妈鬼东西啊！吧操！
like your path's at an end. Yeah, that's how we fucking do it!
唉，好安静，太他妈安静了。
Spit it out.
I'm still fretting about Junlei. About how maybe she might not like me anymore. Are we gonna get in trouble today? Not that I want to, just seems to happen around you, is all.
What's up?
If you'll just listen...
No! No more listening. No more preaching. We are losing people left and right. We need to act.
Enough, Zora. I'm not putting the torch to innocent people. Do you want to bring the board's cruisers and gunships down on us? Captain, apologies, but our situation grows dire. Our people talk of foolish endeavors. What news do you bring? They are armed all the same. All they need is a good reason, and war is one such reason.
We're out of time. We need food and ammunition. We need to hit Stellar Bay while we still have the manpower to do it. Yes, I know it's drastic, but it's clear that Sanjar will never cooperate. And if it's him or us, I choose us. Doubtful, but we don't need much, and Sanjar isn't going to share. It is. We are desperate. We're starving. My people are dying left and right.
Excellent.
Did you find the Vanois? You can be a real bastard, you know that?
We're one step closer to bringing the truth to every man, woman, and child in Halcyon. For now, you can tell Hiram that I'll stop using Devil's Peak. From the pits of our eternal souls. Thank you, Captain. I have much to do. Articles to write, sermons to ponder. We live in such an exciting time. Let's talk later.
Sermons? For the love of... I'm going to see to the wounded.
Well, new business turns up at last. Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? Oh. I suppose that means you aren't here for the Saltuna. Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now.
So-called is right. We've got our hazards, but we're still here, damn it. The board took off without so much as a thought for the folks left behind.
I don't... Dang it, Captain, that's not right. Folks on Monarch shouldn't have to suffer just because the board says so.
Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour.
Well, Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get
他们
MSI
人物的
restored
脸
to
都
the
好
board.
僵硬哦，我操！
On our terms, mind you.
A lot of good that'll do. I'll just find another reason to
完
turn
全没有
tail
表
on
情，就
Bane.
都嘴巴在动而已。
Not if we secure the proper safeguards first.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting with the Bolt 52, we won't need to advertise anymore. We can stop our transmissions altogether.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance. In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons. Do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What can I do for you? You're just as rigid as the old executive committee. Why, we've hardly been able to get a clear message out until recently.
When Graham finally shut up.
It isn't easy keeping a town like Stellar Bay afloat, especially without the board's backing. We need that frequency to reach our trading partners. Indeed. That's why it's imperative that MSI be reinstated onto the board. And the first step is getting the Bolt 52. Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws. Not intentionally, though that's technically true. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2, but back then it was known as Terra 1. As you may have noticed, this planet has more than its share of hazards.
That ain't fair. They didn't leave on account of the hazards. They left on account of their cowardice. The hazards just gave them a reason to put to paper.
Sharp as ever, Nyoka. And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. MSI's leadership at the time certainly thought so. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. Ah, so you've heard about our prior acquaintance. As far as I'm concerned, the less said about Graham, the better. Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. We both agreed that MSI's treatment of its workers was untenable. I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't realize you wanted to abolish the corporate system entirely. Reforms are humane, but they're also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out.
I hope you'd treat them nice whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right because it's the right thing to do.
Here, here. That may not be the way the colony works, but it damn well oughta.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. No, they laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI. I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't think I realized how far they'd stoop. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
Yeah, that'd go a long way toward rebuilding our homes.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation. I'm not a man to put pride before progress. If membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
Don't get ahead of yourself, sir.
Yes, it'll be easier to explain once we have the Bolt 52. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
It's straight bullshit is what it is. A fabrication rich folks use to preserve their investments, by leaving a lot of people here to die slow.
Nyoka has the right of it. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Rather hard to run a business that way. Well, technically he may have suggested it, but he certainly wasn't doing the paperwork himself. Technically he does. What exactly are you accusing me of? Until we're back on the board, I need to run those advertisements. If there's no business on Monarch, then we all starve. Hiram included. What can I do for you? I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff? Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
他妈他讲了一坨废话，我他妈完全看不懂他在公三小。
scavenging here, and a Manta Queen showed up. Then Raptidons. It was a void-blasted mess. I ran in here and, now the door's locked. Little help? It's easier than it sounds, alright? Next time you get chased by Raptidons, you let me know the rationality of your decisions. Phew. Thanks, lady. My buddy had a key, but I ain't heard him in a while. He locked me in here and took off. Probably got munched. So look for a dead guy, I guess. Or a rat. Maybe it's in a rat belly. Gross. Sure. Beats not answering questions. Huxley. I'm an Iconoclast runner. The Iconoclast runner. Fastest we've got. Ain't a Raptidon on this void-forsaken hellhole that can catch me. Phew, sorry. Put me in a tiny room like this and I'm liable to flip. Not keen on tight spaces, you know? Oh, that'd be my people. Graham and Zora and Milton and... I really miss them. You gonna let me out of here? I want to get back to Amber Heights. My buddy locked me in here. I told you that. It was for my safekeeping, on account of Raptidons wanting to munch on my head. But, I mean, okay, yes, fine. I get myself into sticky situations. It's just part of the life, all right? Sometimes you gotta hide in a trash can so you don't get eaten by monsters. Oh, neither was I. Who'd hide in a trash can? Gross. Probably. I don't know. When I try to read things, my mind gets to wandering about all the things I could be doing instead. Get me out of here! What do you mean? It's locked. Get me out of here! Oh, much obliged.
Ah, phew. Thank you so much. It was getting all stuffy in there, and I was getting a mite lightheaded, and I think maybe I was gonna die. Now I'm out here, and I'm headed back to Amber Heights.
Still landing yourself in trouble, eh, Hux?
Oh, hi, Nyoka. You mind giving me an escort back home? Oh, you're traveling with someone. Never mind. Oh, sure, I'm a runner. I'm used to getting all dizzy and... Hey, who's your identical, slightly blurry friend? But I ain't got nothing on me. How's about a heaping helping of appreciation and respect? Afraid not, lady. Gotta pack light if I'm gonna run away from monsters. Thanks a lot, lady.
Well, I see you've had a sobering effect on our friend Nyoka.
Sir, please stop.
Forgive me, Celia. I couldn't help myself. Anyway, what can I do for you? You weren't supposed to look. I asked you to delete it. I didn't mean for any harm to come to you. This has been my albatross, the great shame of my career. I give MSI everything. My work, my youth, my left kidney, and for years, I was a joke to them. One of the executives required a transplant. I thought volunteering to donate might improve my prospects. Apparently not. In charge of a scrap heap of a city, abandoned by the board and surviving only through the hypocrisy of our trading partners. I hadn't thought of it that way. But perhaps there's something to that. Thank you for that. Was there something else? Oh, yes. I'm going to be up all night with this. All those blanks waiting to be filled, boxes waiting to be ticked.
Try to control yourself, sir.
Have you any idea how powerful this is? Corporations have been toppled with less. What a question! Bureaucratic micromanagement is the only way anything gets done in Halcyon, and proper documentation is a key part of that. For our part, a bill of liquidation/transfer Form 52 will protect our holdings on Monarch by temporarily assigning them to a pass-through entity once we drop our bomb on the board. Corporate espionage. How was that, Celia? Did I sell it?
Your best delivery yet, sir.
Getting ahead of myself again.
Happens to the best of us, sir.
I have reason to believe that one of the other corporations is operating on Monarch, illegally and in secret.
Is it really illegal if the board's the one that makes the rules in the first place?
If we can find proof, I can use that as leverage to encourage certain powers that be to accept our Bolt 52 and reinstate us on the board. If someone is operating here, then Catherine's almost certainly supplying them out of Fallbrook. Perhaps she could be convinced to tell you where they are. That's part of the problem. She has certain ambitions for Stellar Bay, and I fear my asking her would give her the leverage she's been looking for.
Don't get yourself worked up, sir. It's perfectly natural to have a healthy fear of her.
We really don't need to discuss this now, Celia. Once you, subtly work out where this corporate facility might be, bring back proof of its operation. Maybe some nice letterhead. Or someone working there. That would do it. A foolproof plan if I ever heard one. I'll leave the execution to you.
Uh-huh. You blind, little bird? Or can you not see I'm busy? Why is it every sissy pig fucker who strolls into my town expects me to smile and shout awful friendly? Welcome to Fallbrook. Only nugget of paradise in this entire law-forsaken land. Like a void damn advert.
Oh, she just comes and says whatever's on her mind, huh?
Truthfully spoken, I do aim to properly represent my aforementioned nugget of paradise.
好，拜拜。你不讲我都不知道你已经，我以为你已经走了，毕竟太安静了，太无聊了这东西。
I'll be sure to remember that, little bird. Want to tell me what you need? Well, I'm half listening. Might be I know something about it. Might be someone hired my crew to blind drop supplies on the northern bridge. Might be they sure as shit weren't pirates. Now that I consider it, I ain't heard from my delivery team in far too long. Find them for me, and I'll pay you handsomely. If I could, I would have. It's my crew whose lives are on the line. Them dying's just bad business. If it's one that don't mind getting dirty, then I sure do. But how am I to know whether you're reliable, if not fully trustworthy? I do admire blunt honesty, so I'm willing to give a business arrangement between us a try. There's a Borst factory on up the way, run by a man who calls himself the King. Clive Lundberg, insufferable prick. That aside, it's a business ripe for the plucking. I want it. Clear as that. Stars, I hope so. Clive Lundberg, the self-proclaimed Borst King of Monarch, is swimming in profit and drowning in his ego. He's making the only meal to be had this side of Monarch, and I'm tired of ponying up for my dinner. I want that Borst factory, owner dead or alive. And you're the soon-to-be handsomely paid fucker who's gonna get it for me. If you got brass knockers, you could shoot your way through the front gate. If you don't fancy getting shot to shit, you can try asking Duncan for a disguise. Might be another way in, assuming you're courageous enough to trek the sewers. Void if I know. Hit him where it hurts. And his gut or his production lines ought to make do. Then I'd say you might care to poison the cysty pigs, doctor a few financial records, or throw a wrench in the canning machinery. Sometimes the simplest solution is the sweetest. I don't give a whit about the method or the means, just the end. It'll be more than good when you're finished. Maybe not for Clive, but for me and you, I'm sure. Oh, and if you don't fancy going in guns blazing or crawling through a sewer pipe, see Duncan in the Dry Goods and Sundry building. He ought to have an employee ID in that stash of illicit goods he keeps for select clientele. May luck be with you, since I won't be.
thank you again for retrieving the bolt. It's every bit as complex as I'd heard, but I'm up to the challenge. Anyway, what can I do for you?
Hello there. A word, if I may be so bold? Well now, here I thought those mantisaurs had peacefully exited the premises. But you're a simpler explanation. Thanks for the assistance. Name's Weston. Every once in a while, I set up shop along these here roads. You find yourself in need of resupply, you come on by. Care to purchase a thing or two?
Stay back. I may be wounded, but I'm still armed. How'd you get past my traps anyway? Just remember, I still got bullets, in case you get any funny ideas. What are you doing out here anyway? Cave like this makes a handy place to store goods or hide out for a spell. And the traps usually keep gawkers out. Catherine had us making drops for some big-shot client out here. And before you ask, I don't know who they are. Or were. The whole point of making drops in the middle of nowhere was to keep their identity and whereabouts a secret. The Marauders knew we were coming. Rigged the bridge with explosives and everything. If they found us, my guess is they found the client too. Last I saw, they were heading back up the hill. You'll see it on the right when you get out of here. If you got the sand to go after him, I'm sure Catherine can reward you for your trouble. Me? I'm headed back to Fallbrook, just as soon as I've caught my breath. Yeah, don't wait on me. I'll head back to Fallbrook in a spell.
好，刚好2个小时，应该也没人，剩 No Name 吧。3人，妈太无聊了。应该在2天就可以打完了，依照逻辑上的话。哎，可惜哥家又不在，刚原本有东西想要跟老哥家测试一下的说。好，拜拜。